Hello, this is Kyla from Hidden Gems Literary Emporium. Today, we have the author of this beautiful book right here, Loving Me ABCs by Miss Kiara Gaton. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And what state do you live in?
I currently live in Texas.
Okay. How do y'all? People don't actually talk like that, do they?
No, they really don't. They talk regular.
It's just because of the movies.
Yep, definitely because of the movies. But they do have, like, people do ride down the street in horses like it's a car every once in a while. So that is true. That does happen.
That is so economically efficient.
Right. That's what I thought. Weird.
To have a horse.
Efficient.
Right. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are happy to have your book here on display, and people gravitate to it. One reason why I think they gravitate to it is because, well, obviously it's very colorful. It's not every day that you see a children's book with a child of color on the cover. And it's just very cute. I feel as though people see the book and they see themselves or their family member. And so they always, go to it, look through it, ask about it. And I was just telling you just now, Raymond was outside and he heard a mom going over the ABCs with her, we assume to be daughter. And so he runs in here, he says, "Where's the ABC book? Send her $20 so we could give him this book." And so, we were happy to do that. So, okay, so why don't you, what is that? You have a toddler too. So, sometimes you just got to go with the flow.
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow, which is what I'm doing right now, hoping that it doesn't start sitting out here because it's really loud in there. So here we are.
Go with your flow. Okay. Okay. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us, first of all, what and who inspired this book?
Okay. Well, like she said, my name is Kiara Gaton, and I am a full-time school social worker for high school. I consider myself a mental health advocate, in love with all things mental health, and just spreading the awareness about mental health and the concerns and the struggles, and just breaking the stigma, because there's definitely a stigma in the African American community as far as mental health and getting treatment and all of those things. And so the how that ties into the book is that this is a positive affirmations book to teach children self-love. So a lot of times in my career, I've noticed that our brown babies are struggling with like loving themselves, loving their natural hair, loving their skin color. Like, I want to be lighter. I want to look like the people in the movies and like all of those things. And so when I had my daughter, who is now 2, Miss Nova Janae Anise, I started affirmations with her from day one. I would pour into her and tell her all the things that she can be, all the things that she is. And she started saying them herself. Like, she'll go around and tell other kids, like, "You are so beautiful. You're strong. You're powerful." And all of those things that I don't know if other kids are hearing, but around Nova, they're going to hear them because she hears it all the time. And so she really inspired this book. I wanted to teach other children what I'm instilling in her and give her something to be able to spread around and share, but also be able to build some generational wealth and be able to educate her throughout the process. Like, how can you own a business? What does it look like if you have a dream? Like, how do you execute that dream? How do you make those things kind of come true? What kind of hard work goes behind it? Because a lot of people think money grows on trees or business is the way to go and it's so easy. And so we're kind of learning together. Like, she's very young. She's only 2. But I bring her to events. Some of these interviews she's on with me lately, it's been a lot harder because she's just a lot more vocal and all over the place. But she goes to events, like, she sells her book. She tells people, "This is my magic book." And so she named it that herself. I don't know where the term magic came from, but I think it has a lot to do with her seeing herself in the book and also just knowing that, like, it makes her feel good. And so ever since, she goes, "You're giving away my magic book." So sometimes it's a struggle to be able to mail them off because she tries to keep all the copies. But yeah, she was definitely the inspiration and the face behind all things Loving Me ABCs and our brand, Love Anise.
I think that's so important that you bring her with you to events and things like that. We also bring our son, and we can see him over time get more and more, for lack of a better word, chill at events and just, sit and color and talk and thank you, hi, thank you for coming. Even at the bookstore, he'll, thank people for coming in and things like that. And it's important that we involve our children in everything that we do, because the goal is to pass down these ventures to them when we are in our elderly years and they are, running. We want to be able to pass down something sustainable so that, they have it with them for their children. And what better way to do that than to have them grow up in it and know the business as they're from as young as 2 years old or before.
Yeah. That was my hope. Like that was what I was wanting. I know people are like, she's too young to be a co-author, and I'm like, not exactly. Like, yes, sorry it started raining, but this is just not working out for me. So bear with me, guys.
It's working out for us. We are a family that goes with the flow, and I think a lot of our readers and people that come in, and even people that just we meet through social media, we kind of just go with the flow. So trust me, this is not a problem. And you know what? The funny thing is, when you're a parent, it's like you think that, okay, I'm going to do this at this time and then this time and then da. But then when you have a child, especially a newborn, it's like your whole entire life and schedule revolves around that child. And so you may think you're going somewhere, or you may think that you were going to do something. But then when the child is like, I'm hungry, I'm this, I'm tired, I don't want to go, things happen, Oh, she found you. Oh, she love her mommy. Hi.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
So this is
How are you?
Okay, Anise. How are you doing? You doing good today?
Yep, I'm balancing.
You want to meet Anise?
No.
Okay, Truth wants to meet Anise.
Truth, I love his name.
Thank you. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Truth.
Hi, Juice.
Say
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
He's like,
he talks a lot, except when you put him on the spot.
Right. He's like, what is happening right now?
Right.
I heard him in the background talking.
So promise. Bye. Come on. Bye.
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 Okay, bye. Go play with Uncle. I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Wait. Okay.
Hey, Coco. Hey, Coco.
Oh, you're staying?
Yep.
Okay. You gonna close the door? Okay, baby.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about, flowing and going, because they're here now and they're here to stay.
Right.
Let's talk about the process of actually making this book.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to put it together? And how did you find your illustrator?
So this first book actually, okay, can you be quiet for a second? Let mommy talk. Okay. So the first book actually worked with a small publisher who I found on Instagram, and it's a Black publisher, and her mission was like to help other people learn how to publish and to publish African American books, because she started doing the same thing for her daughter when she was around, I think, 4, and by the time I started working with her, they had published probably close to like 5 or 6 books. We're doing relatively well. And so she kind of like coached me through the process, but also did a lot of like the back work of like finding the different people. She has a list of illustrators, had a list of editors, like all of those things. And she knew like how the process should go. And so I wrote the words and put that part together. And then for illustrators, like I sent her like pictures of what I would like it to look like. And like, so examples, they call it a storyboard. And then we kind of went through illustrators and talked about like, oh, I like this illustrator's work, that illustrator's work, and then decided on who the price fit, like the work was good. And so once we decided, we chose to use Natalia. And so the illustration process was probably about a month and a half. Very detailed, very colorful, like just a long process. I also have like coloring pages to go along with the book. So that was another part of the process to like separate the line art, clean it up, all that stuff before coloring it. And so that was the illustrator part of the process. And then once that was done, I had to do like the inside pages. So just decide what was going to go inside of the book as far as like an about me page, dedication page, like all of those different things that you don't think of. And then she formatted it, put it all together. Part of the other illustration part of the process was that I had to decide like what kind of illustration. So going into it, I'm like not knowing how that process works or what it looks like. And then I'm like, she's like, well, you have to like basically describe what you want these images to look like. So there are 26 pages because it's a page per letter. And so I had to decide 26 times what kind of image I wanted to represent, the words and what I wanted to portray. And I think that was the most challenging part for me, was just like, what do you want these images to look like? It was also the most fun part and the part that Nova was kind of involved in, just because thinking about how the words represented her. And so like for Sia's creative, she's like coloring on a wall. And for that one, sorry, I was not prepared, did not have a book. Yes. So she's like coloring on a wall. Traditionally, you get in trouble for coloring on the wall. And so I wanted to make it where it was that the things that we may not see as strengths, we can pull them out as strengths and positives for our kids. And so even though she's coloring on the wall, I am creative because I let my imagination wildly run. And so you're still creative. Even though you didn't do it in the right place, like we got to redirect you to draw on paper. But the fact that you're drawing and you're using your mind and your creativity is a big deal. And so I also wanted parents to read this book and have some aha moments, as far as like, sometimes I get onto my kid about that when I could turn it into a strength or something positive. Because a lot of times we see the negative first and don't focus on what the positive aspect of that is and how they're using their imagination. Like they're learning, they're teaching themselves things. And so that part was fun to like come up with like what pictures represent what. So
I just flipped to T because of truth, obviously. I am talented, naturally a shining star. And I'm like, that's right. You better go ahead, talented young children all around the world.
Yes.
Every page just makes you feel like, you know what, that's right. And it's funny that you say that you want adults to have an aha moment, because a lot of these things are things that adults need to remember and sink into their brain. Like, I am resilient. I know the highs always come after the lows. You better talk about it. And so the statements in this book also resonate with me as an adult. And I think it's powerful and important for parents to come to those realizations as they're reading this book to their children. You know, I really like this one. I am influential. Power radiates from inside of me. You better talk about it. We are powerful, okay? Everybody all around the world. There was a book on display called The True Power of You. And it talks about how your thoughts affect the outcome of your situation, and how people don't know how much power can truly radiate from inside of you if you know how to tap into that power. And if you really believe, like, look, I am influential, I am brave, I am assertive, I am creative, you know, you really have to believe it and speak those things. And so how much power and strength do we give our children when they are reading a book like this and they are saying these things? I mean, this is a great bedtime story for children. So they might be reading this every night or every few days or every week, or even if it's just once a month, even if it's just sitting on their shelf, you know, and it's just something that they glimpse through. You really just never know how much influence, how a book like this can change someone's life, because we all remember being young and the books that we read when we were young. Even as adults, you remember those books. I believe that this should be one of those books, honestly.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I am in love with it. Like, we wrote it. It has been 6 months since we released, and I am equally as in love. Nova picks it out often as well, and we read it. And just a lot of parents have told me, like, my kid goes to bed with your book. Like, they read it we have to read this book every single day. And it just warms my heart, because I know that you're not just reading a book, you are instilling all of these powerful messages in these children, so that when they get older and society tries to tell them who and what they are, they can say, no, I'm this and I'm this and I'm this, and I know that I'm these things. And they don't waver from that. They don't have to worry about, um, just falling into like what society wants them to be, or society's view of who they should be. They just know who they are, and they know they're powerful. They know that they can get back up and do anything that their heart desires. And I'm so in love with I know I wrote it, but I'm just so in love with it because of just how powerful I think that it is for our children. Nova's first reaction to the book was just like, she just lit up. She was a part of the process. Like, I talked to her about it. I showed her the images as we were creating them, but when we unboxed and she opened the book, and for her it's definitely different because she's seen her picture in it, and that for her was just everything. But I think also, like, now she'll go to the pages and she'll like, oh, I'm strong, or I'm this, or I'm that, and she tells people about it all the time. And so I think it's just like, I agree, the message is just so needed, and I can't wait to get it all over the world and in schools. And just, I think so it's more important for our children to see a book like this with characters that look like them, because so often they're told they're not good enough, or they have to be this to fit in this box. And that's not true. There are so many things you can be that are equally as amazing than being quiet all the time, or like having to sit down and be quiet and not be smart, or not be too smart, or not be too assertive or too extra. One of my favorite words in that book actually is extra. And it's mostly because my child is very extra, and I know she gets it from her mom. She is like, yes, she's extra. Like, and I have gotten that a lot, especially in adulthood, because I like things the way that I like things. Um, I also just like to go above and beyond sometimes, especially for myself, and just I can just be a lot sometimes. And so I always tell people, like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and my daughter follows suit. Like, this is definitely a miniature version of me. And so I felt the need to put that in there, because I know so many kids, so many people are like using the word like extra, you're so extra, but it has a negative connotation. And so I wanted to flip that around, like, yep, I'm extra. You right. I'm more than enough. And I want the kids to be saying that, like, because people will try to bring you down for being different, or for being outgoing or outspoken. A lot of times I got that for being outspoken, or for having like opinions, especially being a Black woman. Like, you're supposed to be seen and not always heard, or just sit here and look cute, or whatever the case is. And I'm not her. And so I need my daughter to understand that it's okay not to be her, because that just means you're more than enough. God made you way more than enough for every situation, for every obstacle, for every person. Like, people that you encounter, if they try to tell you you're not good enough, you know that you're more than enough. And so I just love, that was one of my favorite words, because I want to take the negative away from being extra. It kind of goes back to like, I've been seeing a lot on social media, Black women and families just not, why is it not okay for us to want luxury lives? Why is it not okay for us to want to live luxuriously and like practice self-care and have all those things? Because because you're called bougie or all of these things, to want nice things. And so I want to normalize, like, no, we deserve those nice things too, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's extra self-care, whether it's um the business of your dreams, whether it's like this outlandish idea that you have that everybody else is like, no, this is not gonna work. You deserve to give that a try. Like, you deserve those big dreams and those big things. And so that's definitely one of the favorites for me.
I can't choose a favorite. I can't choose a favorite. Um, I'm gonna go with this one because as I just flipped to this page, I heard my husband tell our son, "I love you," and I literally just flipped to the page. I am loved because I am me, no matter what anyone may say.
Mm-hmm.
And so, why did you choose this photo for that? Of her putting apples into one bucket says me and one says other.
So it's like the tree of life. So she's taken apples off the tree of life, and love is extremely important in the tree of life, whether it's self-love, giving love to others, but it's equally as important to love yourself as it is to spread it around. And a lot of times, especially in my career as a social worker, like it's so important to have both. Like people try to say like you just need self-love. You don't need other kinds of love. That's not true. You need all the kinds of love, right? And so I think that picture for me was like taking off of the being selfless enough to pick those apples off the tree of life, but not only to pour them into you, which is very, very important, but it's one for you, one for me. So I'm pouring into me, but I'm also pouring into others and giving out that love and spreading it around to other people.
I love that because as I was looking at the buckets, they look equal. It looks like she was putting one in, and I was trying to say which one is more full, but they're equal, it seems.
Exactly.
I want to read the book dedication and just the about because I think it's very powerful and I want people to hear it.
Okay.
So it says this book is dedicated to all the little brown children whose skin is seen as a weapon or a curse. You are powerful beyond measure. Make noise and never let anyone tell you your dreams are too big. And I know that's right. And so the about this book says the seeds of who and what children will become as adults are planted throughout childhood. These seeds are words, they are called names, they are expected to respond to, and what they are allowed to express. This book was designed to ensure the seeds planted are positive and empowering seeds that will one day bloom well-rounded, resilient, powerful adults. We hope this book inspires the uninspired, pours love into little hearts that need it most, and overall provides children with the tools to harvest an unwavering level of self-love. That is beauty and power right there. And I also, and this is really small things make a big difference, but you encourage, or I'll say force, because this is where you have to write your name. You have to write your name in this little heart right here. This book belongs to, and then your name goes into the heart. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
We have an event here on Sunday. There's an organization called the Urban Health Collective. They're giving away children's books here. And I want to ask the founder, Zaire, because, and it's look, we don't believe in coincidences. We believe everything coincides with what you're doing and your path and your walk and your talk. Exactly. And so the event was not here yesterday. And what happened was something got double booked. Now it's here, which was great anyway, because we were going to bring books there, but now the people are coming here. So we're going to ask Zaire if we could just take a few minutes and read this book and, encourage the parents to support you and things like that. And we're also having Independent Author Month all month long here at Hidden Gems Literary Emporium. So people who want to specifically support independent up and coming authors, which is very important, we invite them to come on down and check it out. And right now, your book is the only children's book on display. And so it's been getting a lot of attention. And I mean, even we come in here every day and it still catches my eye just because of how colorful and beautiful it is. It's like you always glance to it. And so we're really happy to have you here all the way from Texas. And we're grateful that you put time and clearly love into this work of literary art for the world to enjoy and to keep close to their hearts, and to read to their children, and to also, like you said in the about, to plant seeds that will help them grow. Like little Miss 2 going on 25,
Right.
business
Yes.
owner.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. So, well, that makes me feel great. And okay, baby.
Jesus. Bye.
Potty training. So that was I gotta go potty, Mom. Let me go with the
You
headband.
better go ahead, little 2-year-old going by herself.
Yeah, she's I think grandma's in there to help, but yeah, she just needs help getting up. But as far as like getting down and stuff, she's good. She'll wipe all the good stuff. So we working on it. Thank you. But
That
yes, it's been a pleasure. Like, I am so happy that we connected. I too do not feel like it is a coincidence. I love all the work that you're doing. I'm always seeing the posts and reading about the different authors and like the projects and the things with kids. And I cannot wait until Nova's business is in a place where we can just give back in such a major way. I want to. I'm trying to get her a little headway and like her own account, so her savings account and stuff set up for her future, and then we are definitely planning to do some community events and to give back and like donate books. So I want to stay connected because I just love the work that you guys are doing. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. We are honored and humbled to be chosen to do this work. And so, one of our other goals, we do 1,000 free book tours across the country. And so a lot of the independent authors that we've had on display, they just came about in the last 3 or 4 months. And the response has been amazing. And so one of the things that we want to do is find a sponsor or multiple sponsors to sponsor a purchase of, dare I say, 1,000 copies of a book. So for example, we would have a list of books from independent authors that we feel everybody needs, whether they have money or whether they don't. So let's say this book, there could be someone, okay, of course, we would love a sponsor to just sponsor our whole thing, but maybe we have a list, maybe like a wish list of books, and then someone who is like, okay, I will sponsor 1,000 copies of one book. Maybe that person has an affinity for children or youth, like how, and so this book is on, she's back. This book is on the list. So they would sponsor the purchase of 1,000 copies of this book. So now when we go on tour, we already know we can give this book out to whatever child that we see. It's already paid for, the author gets paid, and we get paid just by doing the work and just by meeting people and giving hugs and love and stuff like that. And that's really our reward. That's all we care about. And so that's just some of our goals. We want to thank you for your time today and for all you do and for your beautiful little seed over there, future business owner. I'm sure that one day, probably in the much nearer future than you and I even really think right now, it'll be Truth interviewing your daughter. And how cute would that be? I was talking to another author the other day, and I said, by the time our son is 5 years old, we do plan on him doing these interviews, because by that time he will be, yes, he will be, articulate, able to interview, and he'll be watching us do it for years and years and years. And so he'll be the one, right? Right?
He's like, I'm gonna act like I don't talk. I don't want
I
them to know
know.
I use words. Nope.
I know. And then when I put him down, so I'll be like,
Right.
okay.
That would
Jump
be
down.
so amazing.
Jump.
I have a
Oh.
similar
You have a sibling?
I have a similar hope for Nova
Oh, yeah.
to be doing like her own interviews and like really like putting out her own content and just different things and to empower her to feel comfortable to do that. And so as you can tell, she speaks very, very well. She's
Yes.
pretty advanced, but we're working on I like to have her watch. I like when she does pop into these because she can see what I'm doing, even though she's a
Yes.
little distracting, because she doesn't sit still for long. But that a 5-year-old interviewing a 5-year-old would be the most amazing thing. It's so powerful because at such a young age they're being given the tools to be successful and to stand in their truth and to do whatever it is that they want to do. And I think that that is such a big deal for our kids and for other kids to watch, like, oh, they're my age and they're doing an interview, like that person wrote a book and he's interviewing her, and like I can do it too, and all of those things, especially being brown babies. And I just, it's so powerful. Like there's just so much. I don't even know what to say. It makes me emotional. It's amazing, and I can't wait for that to happen and to watch how things kind of flourish. And yeah,
That's right. And you know, the children flourish every day.
mm-hmm.
And we just need to constantly, just like a plant, give them
Water it.
sun, water, love. You
Yep.
can tell the difference between a plant if both plants get water and sun, but one plant doesn't get love, you can tell the difference of that.
Exactly.
And so love is just as important as sun. Love is just as important as sun, water, air.
Yep.
You can't live without love.
Exactly.
You can't grow without love.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so last question, where can people find you online?
People can find us at Love, Love, Anise, ANISELLC on Facebook and Instagram. And so please follow us. Please ask us questions. Just show support. We like to get to know our followers. You will get to follow Miss Anise's journey. She's she's all over the place, but we post like just different fun educational stuff. We also have videos of her and just different activities she's involved in. A lot of positive affirmation things. So please follow us.
Okay. And we will include all that information in the description of this video so people can stay connected with you all. If you are interested in a copy of this book, please come by Hidden Gems Literary Emporium at gmail.com at 55B Morris Street in New Brunswick, or give us a call at 609-361-4331. And we will ship this to your home. Or they can also buy it from your website.
Yes, you can shop love-anise. Again, that's ANISE.myshopify, SHOPIFY.com. So it's love-anise.myshopify.com.
Okay. And we'll put that link in here too. So people, either way, if you're in town, come on by and see us. And if you're not, hit up Miss Anise. And Kiara, it's not about y'all a team, right? 50-50.
Yeah, we a team.
Right. That's
right. Right now she got me doing most of the work, but one day I'm gonna hand it over.
You working for her. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. She's the boss. She'll tell me too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's what I was talking about. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you all the way from Texas.
Yes.
Miss Kiara Gaton. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Gaton.
Gaton.
Yeah.
Gaton. Okay. Miss Kiara Gaton, thank you so much and your beautiful daughter for this beautiful literary artwork. Look, books and literature are art. That's why they call it literary art. Yes. Okay. And so when you write something, when you speak something also, but really when you write it down, it becomes history for generations and generations and generations to come. And so this is now a permanent piece of our history.
Yes. I love that.
Some people may think that's a little too deep, but it's the literal truth, because what
Mhm.
happens, I mean, everybody knows, everybody even maybe has a parent or books that are 17 years old because the parent bought them when they were baby, and now
Mhm.
they're 18 about to move out, or 20 about to move out, and they still have that book on the shelf. So that is officially a part of their history, their family history, and just history in general. So thank you again
Well, thank
for
you
your
for having me.
time. We will be speaking with you soon.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for having me. Bye, guys.
Have a good night.
You
Bye-bye.
too.